So I want to read something to you. I have a couple of things here. One of them is the Republican lie that business developed to fool the 99%, and it worked. It worked. But what I'm going to do now is I want to read. Let me see. Return. Okay. I'm going to read something. You know, the people in politics and world opinion, this is their job. They understand it. Politicians and philosophers alike. Okay, they understand the human condition when it comes to human beings that want to lead. Human beings that want to lead others. You have the 2 or 3% of people that want to lead because they understand that not that they're the only ones that can get it done, but they have clear and obvious solutions that a large, vast majority of people will agree is something we should do. Simple as that. It's just as simple as that. It's not a complicated formula. Someone who can rally the majority of people to solve a problem. Now, Donald Trump has been the exact opposite of that. He's done everything he can to ruin our fucking country. And what scares me is that there's a 30% population in the United States that looks up to this man. And I am ashamed. So what I did was I started looking around the world at other prominent writers and philosophers and thinkers to say, well, what do they think of Donald Trump? This is what I found. I'm going to read this by a writer in we'll just say Europe. So a few things spring to mind. Trump lacks certain qualities which the British traditionally esteem. For instance, he has no class, no charm, no coolness, no credibility, no compassion, no wit, no warmth, no wisdom, no subtlety, no sensitivity, no self-awareness, no humility, no honor, no grace. All qualities, funnily enough, with which his predecessor, Mr. Obama, was generously blessed. So for us, the stark contrast does rather throw Trump's limitations into an embarrassingly sharp relief. Plus, we like a laugh, and while Trump may be laughable, he has never once said anything wry, witty, or even faintly amusing. Not ever once. I don't say that rhetorically, I mean it quite literally. Not once, not ever. And that fact is particularly disturbing to the British sensibility. For us, to lack humor is almost inhuman. But with Trump, it's a fact. He doesn't even seem to understand what a joke is. His idea of a joke is crass comment, an illiterate insult, a casual act of cruelty. Trump is a troll, and like all trolls, he is never funny, and he never laughs. He only crows and jeers, or scarily, he doesn't just talk in crude, witless insults. He actually thinks in them. His mind is a simple bot-like algorithm of petty prejudices and knee-jerk nastiness. And you can hear it in everything that he says. There is never any underage layer of irony, complexity, nuance, or depth. It's all surface. Some Americans might see this as refreshingly upfront. Well, we don't. We see it as having no inner world, no soul, and in Britain, we traditionally side with David, not Goliath. All our heroes are plucky underdogs, Robin Hood, Dick Whittington, Oliver Twist. Trump is neither plucky nor an underdog. He is an exact opposite of that. He's not even a spoiled rich boy or a greedy fat cat. He's more of a fat white slug, a Jabba the Hutt of privilege, and worse, he is that most unforgivable of all things to the British, a bully. That it is, except when he is among bullies, then he suddenly transforms into a sniveling sidekick instead. There are unspoken rules to this stuff, the Queensberry rules of basic decency, and he breaks them all. He punches downwards, which is a gentleman say would or could never do. And every blow he aims is below the belt. He particularly likes to kick the vulnerable or voiceless, and he kicks them when they are down. So the fact that a significant minority, or perhaps a third, like I said, of the Americans look at what he does, listen to what he says, and then think, yeah, he seems like my kind of guy, is a matter of some confusion and no little distress to British people, given that Americans are supposed to be nicer than us, and mostly are. You don't need a particularly keen eye for detail to spot a few flaws in the man. This last point is what especially confuses and dismays British people, and many other people too. His faults seem pretty bloody hard to miss. After all, it's impossible to read a single tweet or hear him speak a sentence or two without staring deep into the abyss. He turns being artless into an art form. He is a Picasso of pettiness, a Shakespeare of shit. His faults are fractal, even his flaws have flaws, and so on ad infinitum. God knows there have always been stupid people in the world, and plenty of nasty people too, but rarely has stupidity been so nasty or nastiness so stupid. He makes Nixon look trustworthy and George W. look smart. In fact, Frankenstein decided to make a monster assembled entirely from human flaws. He would make a Trump, and a remorseful Dr. Frankenstein clutch out big clumpfuls of his hair and scream in anguish, "My God, what have I created?" If being a twat was a TV show, Trump would be the boxed set. This is what people think of Trump outside of the United States, 30% of fucking uneducated redneck goddamn morons, or fucking billionaires who think they pay too many taxes. Everything about this is so right. His meanness, his ignorance, his fucking outright stupidity, okay? The man is a fucking twat. And how people can look at him with awe and reverence. When I see those people, they're dressed in American flags. Their fucking boots, their watch, their fucking hat, everything, American flags. And I'm thinking, okay, this person either doesn't have a life or is completely disturbed in some way and doesn't understand what freedom is about. That it's not a door that swings one fucking way, which is what these people truly believe and want to believe, okay? That they're right, that white is might, white is right. That's what they think, okay? Yeah, thank you very much for that. The English have always been able to succinctly point to paper. He is. He's everything that the man describes. And yet here we have 30% of Americans. It's only 30%, folks. Don't think it's more than that. It is not, okay? The squeaky wheel gets the fucking oil. And I, for one, am very gratified to see the court system holding these people to terms, that it's about time that, you know, the crimes they've committed are addressed, because that's what disturbs people like me. Because if I am convinced there's two systems of justice, I don't want to pay taxes. I don't want to fucking contribute to the police fund. I don't want to fucking hire more firemen. I don't want to do anything for civility. If there's two systems of justice, okay, which right up until the point and when he was fucking indicted, I have to tell you, okay, the majority of my friends, that's what we talked about, was that we would be in jail. And I can tell you right now that if I had 90 felony counts against me, I would be in jail. Now, let's say that I have a bunch of money at my access and a fucking jet. Do you think that I would be free to roam around and do whatever I wanted? I don't think so. So right now, there is more than two systems of justice happening. And until that man is wearing an orange jumpsuit, okay, I'm going to believe that. And I can tell you right now that the majority of my friends are highly intelligent. The jobs they hold are critically fucking important to the United States government. And these people are pretty much fed the fuck up, okay, with having someone have 90 felony counts, and be able to go on fucking Twitter and talk about witnesses and the prosecutors and shit as if he's a goddamn madman, and not have a judge tell him, okay, shut the fuck up. We don't want to hear another word until your trial date. Okay? When you're sitting on the stand, he said, I can't wait to testify. You know, he lies with such ease because that's what he is. He's a fraud. He is a giant lie on a lie on a lie. There is nothing genuine or real about the man. He's a fake human being. I don't even I don't understand how there could even be a soul inhabiting his body other than, yeah, somebody had to do the job, right? So, okay, well, Trump may be laughable. He has never once said anything wry, witty, or even faintingly amusing. And you listen to what he says. Nothing is funny. Nothing has a sense of humor. It is all anger. It is all pointed fucking insult, but never funny.